Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a tier list. You can see my OBS, so we're going to move you away. And now we're going to do the tier list. Basically it's a tier list for Dead by Daylight killers, because I was like, you know what, I've never done this before, so why not? So we're going to be ranking them from S tier, meaning they are godly, insane, or just like, if you're really good at the killer, then, or if you at least know what you're doing as the killer, then you're gonna, like, win every match. A tier is, like, basically S, but, like, not as good. B is, like, the middle. It's, like, they're good, but they're not, like, they're, like, normal tier. Or, like, they're, like, good and not the best. C tier means they're below average. MD means they're just awful. And you'll probably lose a lot of games. Unless if you know, like, really good. Or unless if you're really good at them. And I organized them all because this was not organized and I was really annoyed by it. Okay. So first we're going to do Trapper. Personally, I think if you can master Trapper, if you can master, like, how good Trapper is, if you're just, like, really, really good at Trapper, I think Trapper would be a B tier, because his traps can put a lot of pressure into survivors by making them have to constantly make sure there's no traps when they're going into the loops and stuff, and if they get caught in trap while they're in a loop, it can shut down loops very well. But you have to place them everywhere, and, like, that can cause that can take out a lot of time, but if you're a good trapper and you know where the trapping spots are, like, the best spots to put them, I think it can be a B tier, or Trapper can be a B tier. Now, next up, we'll be doing the Wraith. The Wraith, I personally, I don't play as the basic killer, like the original killers that much, so I don't really know, like, a lot, like, I don't know how to play as them that well, but, I think Wraith, if played correctly, just like Trapper, can be really good, because if you cloak, people can't see you for a certain distance until they can start seeing, like, the little, like, kind of, the outline of you, kind of. But, they can't see you and you can get up to them. And then when you uncloak, you get, like, a speed boost and you can just hit people and sneak up on them until they notice you. So, you also become, I think you become pretty fast when you go invisible. Like, you become faster than when you're not invisible. So, you can go around the map pretty quickly. But that's really all you can do. So, I would say Wraith is also, I think Wraith is a high C tier. Also, if I put, like, if you see this, if the killer's here and then there's here, the closer they are to the letter is the higher up they are. So that means he is a high C tier, close to B. That's what I did. I hope that makes sense. Now, Hillbilly, I think, is an A tier because he can one-shot you. He also has great map, like, he can go around the map very quickly, and he can break pallets with his chainsaw, which makes him fast. And like I said, he can one-shot, and yeah, I think that makes him pretty good. He has great map pressure, he can one-shot you, and yeah. Next, the Nurse. We don't really have to, I mean, I'll talk about the Nurse. The Nurse is, very, very strong. Especially if you know how to play Nurse, like, really well, you're gonna win, you're probably gonna win your game. You can teleport through anything. You can teleport to the other side you can teleport towards another gen, so you have good gen pressure. You also have good mobility, and you also, can just not care about loops, because you can just teleport through them. And, yeah. pretty strong killer. Next is Michael. Personally, I've been playing Michael a lot recently, and he's not that bad at it as a killer, but he's not that good. I would put him, maybe switch these two out. No, actually I'll do that. I'll put him second C tier. He's not that good. Like, he's a little outdated. He's not that good as a killer because, like, there's a lot of ways to, like, counter him. And if a good survivor would know how to avoid him. You just try to run and get cover from line of sight and stuff. And he doesn't really have good map pressure because he's an M1 killer until you get him to C tier, and then, or C tier. He's an M1 killer. He's completely an M1 killer. He just becomes stronger the more tiers he goes up. And when he's tier 3, he's still a M1 killer, but he's faster and he can one-shot you. But it doesn't last forever unless you have an add-on. But I have not come across one that has an add-on that uses that. Tombstone, I think, or the hair one. I don't remember. But yeah. Okay, next one is Hag. Hag is also Hag is A tier. The reason for that is the traps. You can teleport to them, which good map pressure. You also I don't know if a lot of people talk about this, but Hag is short, so if you're doing a loop, you can use that to your advantage. Which that's not really like a main thing why I'm putting Hag on A tier, but that's just something. And the traps also, like, it can put a bunch of pressure into people, because then they're like, oh, they either have to crouch or use a flashlight, but not every survivor brings a flashlight, so they're gonna have to crouch over the traps. And if they alert the traps, then, well, you can teleport there and get them. And it shuts down loops really well, just like Trapper. And the only reason I'm not putting them in S tier is because you have to go around and put all the traps down, and that can cost some time. But once you do that, you're a pretty strong killer, and you have a bunch. Basically, that whole area is your area, and you can teleport there if they trigger it. Next is Doctor. I don't play Doctor a lot, but I think that the Doctor is pretty good. It's hard to judge the killers because I don't play it a lot of them a lot, but I played every killer, so I know at least something about them. The Doctor can shut down loops by shocking you, and when you get shocked, you scream, and you can't vault or drop a pallet whenever you do that, so the Doctor can get a hit on you. He has good pressure. Because he can do the blast shock thing, and that can give away your position and put pressure on you. He can also put more pressure because if you get to tier 3, you can't do anything until you snap out of tier 3, and the skill checks become harder, which makes it a little hard. But he doesn't really have any other good pressure other than that, but he also doesn't have good mobility, I don't think, because he can't, teleport or go fast anywhere. And for that, I will be putting him above the Trapper in B tier. The next one is Huntress. I think the Huntress is an A tier killer. If you're a good Huntress, you'll know when to throw your hatchets, and that can destroy people, and it can also mess with people when they're on a loop, which is good, but it does damage. So it's like the Doctor, but instead of the whole shock thing, it does damage and there's no shock thing, so you can counter loops. You can also get people from far away, and you don't have map pressure that much, which is why the Huntress is on lower A, but if you know what you're doing as the Huntress, you can kill people really quickly, and that's without the add-ons. If you use the iridescent head thing, you can one-shot people, which is pretty good. But, yeah. Huntress, I think, is a lower A tier. Next we have the Cannibal. Personally, the Cannibal is, I think the Cannibal is top B tier because, like, they're hillbilly in the sense that they can one-shot, but they can one-shot a group of people, but they can't really move fast other than when they're in their chainsaw. But unless if you have, like, add-ons to make it go faster, you won't really use your chainsaw to go places unless if you have add-ons. And normally people won't be in clumps, so it won't, unless if you're like camping or whatever, then people won't be in clumps and you won't be able to like kill multiple people. But when you do kill multiple people, it's very satisfying, and you kind of have like map pressure because of the fact that your chainsaw makes you go faster, but you have to let it charge up. And with hillbilly, you can kind of use it whenever, as long as you don't overheat it. So I think it's top B tier. Like, I think Leatherface will be top B tier, or hillbilly, whatever. Next we have Freddy. Freddy is, I think, S tier. He can, he puts pressure on you by making you go into sleep. You have to wake yourself up, or you fall victim to Freddy's powers, like his fake pallets or the blood pools. And those, he can cancel loops with the blood pools and trick you with the pallets. And those can mess you up at loops. He can teleport to gens with his power, and that gives him great map pressure and gen pressure, because if you're like working on a gen and you're about to finish it and he teleports to it, it's like can't really do much against that, unless if you like run away, one person runs away and stuff. But yeah, it can cause a lot of time to go by and waste your time. And I'm probably forgetting more stuff with these killers, but that's besides the point. Pig is, unfortunately, I think, going to be our first D tier, because the pig, the traps that the pig puts on does put pressure on survivors, but they're really easy to get off. And the only like time that I think you would probably die from them is either during end game and you have a trap on you, because you can't leave unless you find hatch with a trap on, or if you're getting chased constantly by the killer while you have a trap on, because then you don't have time to defuse it. And that's really the only thing the pig does, other than like the pig can crouch and then ambush you. But if you have spine chill, that's easy to avoid, and the traps aren't really that hard. Other than that, it's really the pig's really just an M1 killer once you run out of the 4 or 5 traps that you have. So not that good of a killer, unfortunately. Next we have Clown. Also, Clown will be in the D tier. I think the Clown is better than the pig, because the Clown can destroy loops with the gas, and it also can mess up your vision, which that can mess up when you're running away. But the Clown doesn't really have good gen pressure or map pressure, and yeah, the Clown only throws bottles of gas stuff at you and can speed himself up barely with the other thing. Okay, next we have the Spirit. The Spirit is also, I think, the second best killer in the game, or second or first. It's like a mix for me between the Nurse and stuff. But the Spirit can go invisible and move fast and just destroy you by you basically have to guess where the Spirit is, because you can't see the Spirit. The Spirit can see your scratch marks, I think. They can also see your blood, and they can hear you. I think there's a bug where they can't hear you currently, but that's a bug, so we're not counting that. And you have to, it's basically a guessing game, and even good players, good survivors, still have to guess and they're not always gonna guess right like a normal person. No one ever guesses right sometimes. And if you're really good as Spirit, and you go against like top tier survivors, you will you'll win probably, unless if they like find Hatch and have a key. But that's besides the point. You'll probably win because it's basically a guessing game against Spirit, and Spirit's annoying. And also Spirit is incredibly fast, and that like, yeah. Next we have Legion. Legion is also, I think, going to be a D tier killer because I think that fits the Legion. The Legion is an M1 killer. His power doesn't even like kill you, or like all it does is make you need to mend yourself, and it makes your vision harder. And most of the time when the Legion hits you, he'll either run away to go to someone else, or he'll stop his power. But by that time, you can just keep running and try to find another loop. He can vault pallets when he's in his frenzy, but like I said, his power doesn't kill you most of the time. Like, I don't see anyone die to his power. I mean, okay, when I said it doesn't kill you, it does kill you, but I've never seen someone die to his power, like his frenzy before. Because if you're getting, I think if you're in a chase, the bar stops, and yeah, there's, I don't know, he just makes you have the borrowed time effect, and yeah, not that good. He doesn't have good gen pressure because, I mean, he can run, but I think a Legion would only use their power if they see someone. Like, they won't use it to get to a gen. But I could be wrong, I don't know. The next killer is the Plague. The Plague is, I think, I think the Plague is a A-tier killer. But this is kind of hard to do, because the Plague, it depends if the survivors cleanse. If the survivors cleanse, then the Plague has the Corrupt Purge, or whatever it's called, the Corrupt thing, and the Plague can destroy you. It's basically like the Huntress hatchet, but it can kill multiple people, and yeah, you can throw it over stuff, and it will actually like hit the ground instead of going flying into the air. And if you get, so you either are stuck broken because you got sick, she puked on you and you're sick, and you're one shot, or you cleanse but risk letting the Plague have the Corrupt Puke, which can damages you, but like they can do it from far away, and that can cancel loops and put a lot of pressure on the survivors. The Plague kind of has gen pressure because she can puke on the gen, making you sick. And the Plague is just nasty. Next we have Ghostface. I think the Ghostface is... this is hard. It's not a D tier. It's either C or B. I think the Ghostface is Michael, but better. And okay, let me explain. Ghostface, Michael, when he stalks, when he gets to tier 3, he gets everyone to tier 3. And when Ghostface stalks, he only gets that one person, or whatever, how many people he stalks, to an insta-kill. But he doesn't have to do tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. He stalks you for forever, however long he needs to, and you're exposed for a certain amount of time. He doesn't have to do all the tiers and stuff. And he can crouch, making him silent, making him scary, and he can sneak up on you and scare the crap out of you. He doesn't have really good gen pressure, because like he's just an M1 killer that can make you exposed, but he can make a lot of people like be on edge, and he also can make you exposed. So yeah. The next killer is the Demogorgon, which is one of my favorites. I'm gonna try to just like put this killer in at the tier list without like being like biased towards it or anything. But the Demogorgon, I think, is one of the most balanced killers, which is why I'll put it in B tier. The Demogorgon is in B tier because the Demogorgon has great map pressure. The Demogorgon can put portals down and teleport to them, and if you try cleansing them, he can see that and teleport to it, and that gives him, he can move all across the map. He also has the shred ability where he can launch forward and get you. You know, I'm gonna put him in low A tier because I don't know. I'll put him, okay, he's going above Bubba because I don't know. He's either very low A tier or very, very high B tier. So, but it like I said, putting the portals down takes time, but it's not like, it doesn't take that long. Same with the Hag, it doesn't take that long. But you can like put it at each gen and then teleport to it. And the survivors can't cleanse it until you teleport to it, and then if they stand near it, you get notified, and then you can teleport to it and destroy them. The shred also destroys pallets, which is pretty cool, and that's, if someone's running to a window, you can use the shred to get them, which can cancel some loops, but most of the time it's just you can very easily loop him. But he has great map pressure, I think, and he can cancel loops sometimes depending on the loop. The next killer is the Oney. I think the Oney is probably where I think the Oney is A tier. He's like Billy kind of, but he can down multiple survivors like Bubba, but he needs to collect blood first, so he's very weak early game. But once he has blood and starts getting blood, he has great map. He can travel around the map very well, and he can put a lot of pressure onto gens because he can check the gens. And he can cost survivors time because they'll heal so they don't leave more blood, because Oney can like one-shot you if he's in his blood fury, and that makes him very strong. So that's what I think. The only reason he's not above Hillbilly is because he's very weak early game, and you can't use your power whenever. You have to use it. Either they have to have no mither, or you have to find someone and injure them, and then use your power. And I think his dash thing can destroy pallets, like if you hit it. I'm not sure, but you can down multiple people and one-shot people. But you have to. He's very weak early game. Now Deathslinger. I don't play him a lot, but Deathslinger is an interesting one for me because I suck at shooting games, which is why it's like I'm not that good at Deathslinger, which is why I don't play him a lot. But I think Deathslinger is about middle B tier. He can shoot you with his harpoon gun, which can cancel a loop, but not really, because if it's like if you're between him and something, the chain will just break. But that will give them like the mending effect, and yeah, he can also stop you from like vaulting stuff if he shoots you in time, and he's basically an M1 killer, but can stop you from like running away from stuff or getting to something because he can shoot you with the harpoon gun and get you. His terror radius is also like, I never noticed his terror radius because it's like, I don't know, I just can't hear it very well. It's tiny, so you can kind of get a jump on survivors. But yeah, if you're good at aiming, he's pretty good as a killer. Now we have the Executioner, or Pyramid Head. I almost said Pinhead. We don't have Pinhead on this one, unfortunately. But Pyramid Head, I think he is a B tier. I think he is around here. Better than Deathslinger, because he can put the Trail of Torments down, which can make it annoying to get somewhere because you have to crouch over it. And if you do get tormented, he can send you to the cages, which counters DS, which killers would love that. And Also, he doesn't really have good map pressure in this. Like, he can't go. He travels like a normal killer. But he can send you to the cages, and he can also just do the final judgment, which I think is cool. But it also is, like, it saves a lot of time. And he can also use his other power, Punishment of the Damned or something. I might have made that up, I don't know. But that can go through walls, which can also stop loops. And I think if a killer can stop loops, then, like easily, then they're pretty good. Because it goes through walls and stuff, and it damages you. And it can also hit more survivors, so... You know, I will put him above this. No, I won't. I'll put him there. Okay. Next, we have Blight. I think Blight is a S-tier killer because, he can basically catch up to you. If you're running away, he can catch up to you very quickly. And it can sometimes shut down loops. Not all the time. He's kind of weak with loops, but, depends on the loop. But, he can basically bounce off something right next to him and then run towards you and hit you. And there's not much you can do. You can try to move and juke him, but he moves really fast. He can get to gens really quickly because he has very good mobility. He can shut down loops sometimes. And if you're running away from him, he's most likely going to hit you because he can catch up very quickly. Unless if he's in an indoor map. I just think he's a good killer. I don't know how to explain it. I just think he's really good. The next killer is the Twins. And the Twins, I have never gone against as a survivor because no one decides to play as the Twins. So I'm doing this as a perspective of me playing as them. The Twins is A tier for me. If you slug, then you'll do really good. The Twins is basically two killers, and you play as Victor, which is like that little guy right there, and he can run really fast, which gives good map pressure. He also gives you information by if you jump onto someone and they're healthy, then you'll latch onto them and you show like I think you can see where the survivor is, and also if other survivors are near, you get Killer Instinct, which gives you information. And you can also run up to gens with Victor to like check if someone's at a gen. And also, if you hit someone who's injured as Victor, like you do the pounce and hit them, then they get downed, which is good. And yeah, good gen pressure or map pressure because of Victor being fast as hell. Victor can also jump over pallets and windows, which can cancel loops sometimes. And yeah, good killer. Not like top tier because it's this is from my perspective as killer. I've never gone against him as survivor. Okay, Trickster. I think Trickster is annoying, but also A-ish tier. Okay, yeah. I think the Trickster is A tier because he can down people so fast. Like, you could try to not go in the open, but if you go in the open once and he's chasing you, you're gonna probably get down because it takes, I think, 6 blades to down or to injure you, and he can throw them really fast. But he has a lullaby. It's very like hard to hear it, but it does give away his position, like the Huntress, which is kind of like not that good. But he throws his blades so fast that he'll just you can get downed really quickly. If you're out of loop, he can just throw the knives at you. Unless if there's a wall blocking his way, he can just throw the knives at you, and you'll get injured, and then you'll get down because it's very fast. The effect goes away eventually, but if he's chasing you, you're probably gonna not be able to have time for that to go away. And main event is okay, I guess. It's basically his normal power, but he throws it a lot faster, and you can't really you can cancel it, but you can't stop throwing it unless if you cancel it. And yeah, he doesn't really have good gen pressure, or map pressure, except for the fact that he can throw them far. But I really only get those the laceration things thrown at me when he's chasing me, not when I'm a million miles away from him, unless if I'm in an open area. But you don't want to be in an open area or you're dead for him. Now we have the Nemesis, which is also one of my favorite killers. The Nemesis is, I think he is right here. He has the zombies, which give map pressure, because the zombies can you'll be working on a gen and then zombies will come and you'll have to run away or lead them away and pallet stun them, or just lead them away. And they can down you, which is pretty good. So it's 3 killers, but 2 of them are really stupid. Sometimes 3 of them are very stupid, but yeah. And the Nemesis can also use his tentacle to damage you, which can shut down loops sometimes. Not shut them down, but it can mess up loops, because you can hit it over stuff if it's not that big, but most of the time you can't. But the zombies give good map pressure. The zombies also give good information, because the zombies see you, they'll put their arms up and start chasing you, and you can, since the Nemesis can see the zombies through walls and stuff, so if he sees that, he's like, oh, the zombies are chasing someone. Is the tentacle. So yeah, this is my tier list. If I probably missed a bunch of stuff, because I'm not really the best expert with this game, which is why I probably shouldn't be making a tier list. But let me know what you think for my tier list. Yeah, I think it looks alright to me, but let me know what you think. And yeah.